How bad do you want it? See, here's the thing. When it's easy to quit, we don't want it as bad. But when we excel and push through the hardships, the difficulties, the new aspect of life, we start to grow. We start to learn. We start to figure out that we can do anything that we put our mind to. But see, here's the thing, and what makes it so difficult about the journey is that it's going to be hard. It's going to be overwhelming, and it's going to push you to the edge of where you want to quit. And when you want to quit, that's when you really dive in deep and say, what am I doing? Why am I doing this for? And what is the reason? See, a lot of times the reason is right in front of us. Our reason is that we was once here, once upon a time. So how can we excel and push the message out and help people and actually encourage people? At least that's what my reason is. I can't speak for everybody else, but I can speak for myself. I've learned that things happen at the time they're supposed to happen, at the place that they're supposed to take place at. I can't change what happened to me. I can't change me going through a divorce. I can't change me getting out the military. I can't change me figuring out who I am. I can't change that. But what I can do is just really adapt to the person I became. I can adapt to the person I became because I understand who I am. See, when you're going along your journey, when you're trying to figure out your purpose and all the cliche sayings, there's a saying that says, if it's not hard, it's not worth trying. If it's easy, you got too comfortable. If it's easy, you got too complacent and content. Sometimes, a lot of times, as we're going through life, we're trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. I've learned the best way to grow is to be comfortable being uncomfortable. What does this mean? This means that we're constantly finding ways to improve, to learn, to grow, to meet new individuals, to connect with people, to work on our communication skills, and just work on anything that we have in mind that we want to do. See, when you make your mind up, you start to make a promise to yourself. The promise to yourself is that by any means, you're going to make this happen. By any means, there's no other way. By any means, you have no other option. When you get down to that point, get down to that feeling and get down to that understanding, I'm telling you, the life that you desire will slowly come to you. It will never come overnight. Stop thinking as soon as you start something, as soon as you have a great idea, it's going to happen simultaneously overnight. It is not. I promise you it's not. So don't put your hopes up like, dang, I got this idea. This idea sounds great. Man, I'm going to be a millionaire by next month. When I started my journey back in August of 2020, I had an idea. I was like, ooh, I'm going to be a millionaire by September. I like the idea. I love that idea. But the thing about having that idea that was so big, I wasn't the person that I needed to become in order to make $1 million. See, money equates to your experience. Your experience equates to time, and time equates to your confidence. When I started in August 2020, I didn't have no confidence. I just had an idea and said that I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a millionaire mogul in real estate by September. I was not a millionaire mogul just because I didn't have the experience. I didn't have the education. I didn't have the people around me. But see, what I learned is that I tried and I tried and I tried. But I haven't stopped trying. I haven't stopped trying, which leads to say that you have to be persistent along your journey. You have to believe that everything that you're doing is going to work out. If you're consistent with the process, if you do it every day, if you're persistent, if you don't give up on yourself, if you don't throw in the towel, if you don't quit. All these ifs are very prominent because we have to understand that things will happen. We will get knocked down. We will get back up. But it's the getting up that makes the journey more worth it. We can't say however we gonna fall, it's gonna be a soft landing, or it's gonna be a hard landing, or it's gonna be an okay landing. It's gonna be a landing, whatever type of landing it is, it's gonna help you grow and help you prevail into something new. What is this something new? This something new is really turning yourself into a better version of yourself, meaning that you can put your mind to anything that you want to do. But don't be afraid to hit that ground. Don't be afraid to hit that pavement. Don't be afraid to jump in the water. Don't be afraid to write your first bite. Don't be afraid to write your first book. Don't be afraid to make your first video. Don't be afraid to do anything, because what's happening is we're being afraid is that we're stopping our growth, right? We're preventing us from growing to becoming a new version. The hardest thing to do is to get in front of a camera and believe in the words that you're saying, and hopefully it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, now you got some practicing to do. You got some perfection to do. You can never be 100% perfect at your craft. There's always some details that you can improve on. There's always some new ways and techniques that you didn't really think of that you can implement within yourself, and now you start growing. See, when you get complacent, you think you know it all. But when you think you know it all, that's when you get comfortable. And when you get comfortable, that's when things stop going the way that you desire. That's when everything starts going wrong. I'm talking about everything. Because you got complacent where you was at, and you lost the thought of the vision that was in mind. Lost the purpose of why you're doing it that was in your mind, in your heart. Your journey will teach you a lot. It will force you to learn more about yourself. It will force you to try. It will force you to find new ways. It will force you to become creative. It will force you to really put yourself out there in order to find the intricate details that you would have never thought. If you don't start, you can't learn what's working, what's not working. If you do start, you can see, oh, okay, that post that I made last night, it worked. But what did I do wrong? What did I say wrong? How was my grammar? How was the words? How was the message? Was the message good? Did the message relate to somebody? Hopefully it did. I don't know. Let me rewatch it. Sometimes we have to rewatch our craft in order to say, okay, this is where I messed up. Okay, how can I fix this? See, the technique that you need to fix this is getting around people that will be honest with you. They will watch your content. They will tell you, hey man, you just messed up right here. Like, you said something that didn't really make sense, and this is how you can fix it. Take out the fuller words. Take your time. Slow down talking. Gather your thoughts so you're not all over the place. It's hard to articulate your words when you don't even know the words that you want to say. That's why there's no such thing as perfection. Perfecting is daily practice. Daily practice is constant effort. Constant effort is trial and error. It's trial and error. There's no other way to put it. It's trial and error. But the error is helping you develop more, right? And by you developing, you're able to become more. And when you become more, now you're able to identify the target of money that you want to make. But see, the money doesn't come overnight. The money comes from the amount of people that you're helping. Okay, listen, the more people you help, the more you're going to be monetized for your efforts. See, I just said right there. You'll be monetized for your efforts, but the monetization come later on down the life. When you're organized, when you're systematically there. You can't really make an impact if you don't have the right amount of money. Don't get me wrong, making an impact without money is phenomenal. It's phenomenal, because I do it now. I make an impact without having no money, and it feels great. It feels amazing. But I know the scale of people that I want to help. I know I need to make money. I know I need to be organized and have a system and create something for myself so I can really give back the way I want to. So I can really help the way I want to. So I can really encourage the way I want to. So I can really educate the way I want to. But see, here's the thing. All this happened. All these thoughts, all these ideas came from August of 2022. It is now November of 2022, about to be December. I'm telling you, it took time to get here. It took time to get in front of a camera and just record for 10 minutes, 10, 20, 30 minutes. And I'm telling you, every day I'm practicing. Every day I'm putting the work in behind the scenes when the camera is not on. That's what needs to happen. When the camera come on, now it's showtime, because you've been doing it for so long behind the scenes. Nobody can tell you how to do things if you don't know how to understand yourself. When you understand yourself, you're able to take criticism. This criticism is to help you fix the small details that can make you sound a little bit better. It's the small details is to really force you to really listen what you're saying. The small details is something that will be ingrained in you without you even knowing. While you're figuring out yourself, while you're figuring out your journey, while you're figuring out your purpose, understand there's great value to know yourself. There's great value to understand your emotions. There's great value to put yourself out there. You don't have to be making content. If you're not comfortable with the camera, I have strategies that you can implement in order to get comfortable with recording. But if you are comfortable with the camera, you have to be consistent. Time management is what destroys a lot of people's success because we're not time oriented. How do we get there? I have strategies for that as well. It doesn't happen overnight. I didn't gather these strategies just by waking up one day and be like, oh, I got some good strategies. No. I got these strategies, these techniques for me being in rooms, for me doing it every day, for me implementing what I've learned, what I didn't implement, what did work, what did not work. I'm a trial and error type of guy. If it works, I'm gonna keep doing it. If it doesn't work, I'm not gonna do it no more. Just simply, I learned to look at data, learn to look at numbers, learn to look at how to measure what's working. Like, it's so many different ways. There's so many different strategies, so many different techniques that you can implement in order to keep prevailing, in order to keep growing, in order to keep developing, in order to keep excelling in life. But we can't do that if we don't have the right education to help us grow. Here's the thing. If you're looking for a public speaker, a podcast host, a podcast guest, an interview guest, interviewer, guest, host, I'm your guy. My message is to instill faith. My message is to instill confidence, faith, while being persistent along the journey. In closing remarks, if you hit the pavement, find a way to get up. If it's with a buddy, if it's by yourself, if it's with the pavement itself, find a way to get up, because the longer you stay down, the longer you would dwell. The longer you dwell, the longer you would think. The longer you would think, the longer you would not do. Right? I'm telling you, it starts with your mind. It starts with your actions. And everything else will follow. If you got value from this video and want to watch more personal development videos, click this video right here, and I'll see you there.